Those who don't want to change it dramatically see this as a problem. They want to make changes that, they don't want. I'll give you one really good example. There's what we call 80-20 issues. Issues where 80% of the country feels one way and 20% feels another way. And what's interesting is the educated Democrat often find themselves in the 20. The classic example is having trans in women's sports. Do trans women, and by this what I mean is people who are born male, or some people say assigned male at birth, but I prefer to think born male, born with masculine physical traits, should they be allowed to participate in sports with women? 80% of the country, and I'll put myself in that 80%, say no. 20% of the country say yes. Educated Democrats are overrepresented in that 20% of the country. There's no doubt about that. So why? Well, if revolution is what you want, this would fundamentally change our notions of sex, our gender, athletics. This is not a tinker around. This is not saying, Title IX, where women get as much money as men in sports, which is a big change. It's not a revolution. And that's what many people, they're fine with that. Having someone born male, and especially after they've gone through puberty and they've developed the mass and the strength and the speed, having them then participate against women, 80% of the country say, no, we don't want that. We don't want that type of revolution. So the educated Democrat has to find ways to facilitate this revolution. I think in many times it makes them desperate, if you will, willing to engage in activities that most of us would find unacceptable. Perhaps the types of protests that leads to riots, the sort of stigmatizing of others. They're educated, so they have some sort of cultural power. This is part of what we have to think about.